Hello my friends, and welcome back. In today's live programming video, we'll be doing a little bit more work on Komorebi, the tiling window manager for Windows, written in the Rust programming language. So I actually did some spur of the moment work on this earlier, some very interesting spur of the moment work on this earlier. How should I start this story? So if you're at all familiar with the Windows platform, you'll know that it is very difficult to programmatically change window focus or just using the Win32 API in general. This is something that the people at Microsoft really don't want you to do. And of course that makes our job, my job, our job, our lives as tiling window manager aficionados quite difficult. It makes it quite difficult indeed. So over the years, we've been trying a lot of different hacks to set foreground window, a lot of different hacks to try and get around this, right? So if we head over to the documentation, we can see that for this function, set foreground window, there are some restrictions. The system restricts which processes can set the foreground window. A process can set the foreground window by calling set foreground window only if, and this is where it just gets nuts, all of the following conditions are true. The calling process belongs to a desktop application, not a UWP app or a Windows Store app designed for Windows 8 or 8.1. I think this is a new thing, so if anybody was waiting for Komorebi to be available on the Windows Store, it's even less likely to happen. The foreground process has not disabled calls to set foreground window by a previous call to the lock set foreground window function. The foreground lockout time has expired. No menus are active. So all of these have to be true. Additionally, at least one of the following conditions has to be true. The calling process is either the foreground process, it was started by the foreground process, there is currently no foreground window and thus no foreground process. The calling process received the last input event. Either the foreground process or the last calling process is being debugged. If that sounds like a lot, it's because it is a lot. And so, set foreground window alt key. So there is a way to get around this, right? So the system automatically enables calls to set foreground window if the user presses the alt key. And so if we go to komorebi.json, this is what this does, right? Notice that I have it set to false now, so I've been making some progress. But previously, this would always be true. And what this would do is that every time the user triggered a focus changing event through Komorebi C, it would send the alt key. And in some rare occasions, this resulted in the alt key getting stuck on a software level. So you'd have to hit the alt key again to unstick it. Not particularly great. But I was going around GitHub like I do, and I found, I'm not sure how I never found this before, but this one surfaced on Google, forcefocus.python. And it is forcing Windows application focus, attempting to bypass set foreground window restrictions. And so, I was looking through this. I do the whole attaching thread thing already. I do, set foreground window, attach thread input, all of that. But then I saw this, set foreground input lockout time to 0. And I was like, that sounds kind of interesting. So we took a look at this. Oh no, it's not this one. It is this one. So I tried this one previously. It didn't work. But this is the event. Lock set foreground window. Foreground window. Okay, SPI set foreground window lockout time. So this is what this person, EB null, was doing. Set foreground lockout time to 0 and send the system parameters info send change notification. Cool, kind of. So I started digging and I found this stack oh my god, words are so hard. I found this Stack Overflow question, and this person was asking, or explaining rather, that on Windows 11, if you get the value that is at foreground lock timeout, it always reports the max, even though in the registry it's this. So from what I was able to surmise from this and from testing, this and the set function no longer correspond to the registry entry. And also, set foreground lock timeout is non-persistent. So if you log out and log back in, if you restart, if you in any way create a new session, it's always going to be set back to this, which is useless for us. So this is what I tried doing. I created a new Windows API wrapper, foreground lock timeout, and we're running this pretty much as soon as we hit the main function, right? So we hit the main function in Komorebi. Maybe make this a bit bigger because the GitHub font is not very legible. So this is where we enter Komorebi. This is the main function. So first we try and parse the opts, and the main one that we care about is the custom focus follows mouse. We set that, then this actually didn't do anything. I don't even know why we're doing this, but it was one of my attempts. Allow set foreground window. And then set process DPI awareness. We need to do that if we have different DPI settings on different monitors. We check the processes. We make sure that we're not running more than one instance of Komorebi. And then we call foreground lock timeout. So it's really one of the first things that we do. And to take a look at that function, here, foreground lock timeout, it's a little bit different from the other wrappers that I have in the Windows API file, because usually they're just safe wrappers around the unsafe code with some processing to match the Windows RS crate types, especially the result and the error types, to standard Rust error and result types. But this one, we make a couple of calls. I thought it was useful enough. So these APIs are very tricky to use. So I have this generic. So this one is calling a raw. Maybe it'll be better to do this in here where I can jump around. GCO feature. What was the name of the feature? The name of the feature is foreground lock timeout. Alright, so let's get this up and head over to the Windows RS file. Set timeout. There we are. So this is a thin wrapper. Oh my god, Rust Rover, so slow. This is a thin wrapper around the system parameters info W function. pretty simple, just a safe wrapper. This is no longer dead code either, but yeah, very, very simple wrapper, safe wrapper. So we call that wrapper. Oh my god, I feel like Rust Rover gets slower every time I use it. I just want to use IntelliJ. I don't know how IntelliJ has more stuff, but it's so much faster than Rust Rover. Anyway, so we call get foreground lock timeout UI param. Maybe we can walk through this with the docs here. So it's not this function, it is this function. So we'll check out the parameters, right? So here we have the thing that we want to do. So we want to get the foreground lock timeout. Then the second parameter is this, a parameter whose usage and format depends on the system parameter being queried or set. For more information, check out the parameter. If not indicated, you must specify 0. It wasn't indicated, so we specified 0. Next, we have the PV param. And so this is a parameter whose usage and format depends on the system parameter being queried or set. For more information, basically saying you got to figure it out. Like you got to figure it out based on what the docs say. And the docs say that you need to give it an address of a mutable, unsigned 32-bit integer, and it's going to cause a side effect, right? Like this is not a pure function that returns the value. You pass it in a pointer, it's so old school. My new school brain struggles to conceptualize it. Basically, you pass it something mutable. It sets the value in that mutable thing. And then once that's done, you check the value, right? Complete opposite of functional programming. So when we start Komorebi, we run this. We check what that value is. And remember, this is ephemeral. So it could be that the user has just restarted, just logged out and logged back in. And this is probably going to be that, that crazy high max U32 value. So if it is not 0, we're going to update the value. And we're going to do that by again calling the same function, spif, system parameters info. But instead we're going to call set foreground window lock timeout. Again, the UI param is 0. This time we're sending 0 as, I don't even know how to say this in English, but this is what it needs. And we're sending the update flags. So this is sending a send change notification. Once we've done that, because the Windows API is not especially trustworthy, at least in my experience, we double check it again and then we log that out because we just want to make sure that it has actually updated. And so this is coming back to this mutable value here. So again, we're going to call get and it's going to update the value here. So what we expect by this point is for this value to actually equal 0 after being mutated in this function. Damn, that's crazy. Anyway, so I've been doing some of this, right? And I have alt focus hack set to false and it's working pretty good. So like I've just come over to the middle now and you can see me going up and down. I'm pressing Alt and L to go to the right and I'm going up and down, no mouse interaction. And I've just gone all the way to the left and I'm going up and down without mouse interaction, which shows that the focus has indeed successfully been transferred to the window in whichever direction I navigate to. Pretty freaking cool. Very, very frustrating, but pretty freaking cool. So this is really, really cool for another reason, because if you have been tracking the animations branch and the animations work that has been going on, what have we been doing? Here's the comment. So I've been noticing quite a lot of issues with the Alt key sticking when using this branch. So while I was playing around and enjoying the new animations on this branch, look at that animation, very cool, super cool. Anyway, while I was doing that, my Alt key kept getting stuck and I'd have to hit it to unstick it, but it was happening at a much greater frequency than on the master branch. However, I cherry-picked this commit, wherever that commit went. I cherry-picked it and I tried it on top of the move animations feature branch, and it's working really well. So I'm happy to kind of merge this in now. So what are we gonna do? I think we'll cherry-pick this onto master first. So git checkout master. We are up to date, so we'll do a git cherry pick, and we'll push this to master. Then we can check out the animation branch. Whoa. That is a slow push. What the hell's going on? My internet died? No, it has not. Is GitHub down? That is so weird. Why you know? Why you know, my friend? Oh, I guess it did, but this terminal is not having it. Another Rust rover fail. Very sad. Let me just check the git log. Okay, git log is there. So we can try this again in the integrated terminal. Git checkout animate window move. Git rebase master. Git push force. Alright, that time it worked. So, yeah, that's all up to date now. I had a thing to do here. The art mentioned that I missed the Komorebi C command, so we're just going to quickly do those while we're recording. Where would they be? In Komorebi C, of course. So, animate. This one's going to be animation. This one is going to be animation duration. This one is going to be animation ease. Desired ease function, desired animation duration in milliseconds, and this one is Boolean state enabled or disabled. Excellent. Sweet, all done. I'll do git cz here actually. So this is going to be refactor, I guess. CLI, update animation, command names. Looks good. We can push that through. So I think things are looking pretty good here. There was a video that the art posted I want to share with you all. It's about animating the borders, and it looks really cool. Wait, how do I... There we go. And so you can see the way it just kind of, animates in. It looks so nice. But you can see that it's coming from the left on this side, right? I'm not sure if the video shows it again. So this one is very nice. This one, it's a little bit janky. A couple of things happen. So I don't know. I think we need to look into it a little bit more. I would really like to get this feature in it. And just the animations are so beautiful. You know, I get the animation hype now. I well and truly get the animation hype. But I think we'll need to see, because it might be better to just get the window animations merged to master, and then maybe open up a separate PR for the border animation work. Because there are some issues with doubled events that make the animation for the window border a little bit tricky. So we'll touch base on that, and hopefully we can find a way around that so that everybody can have lovely, beautiful animations. If you would like to try out the animation stuff, head on over to your Komorebi C file, komorebi.json, and there are now these 3 commands. So you will have to point the schema to a newer version of the schema.json if you want these to be picked up in the auto completions, right? So I think the command for that is Komorebi C gen schema. That's one of them. So many Komorebi C commands, I just forget. Static config schema. So Komorebi C static config schema, and then you can redirect this output to like a file or whatever. You just got to reference that in your editor so that you can, because there are a lot of animation ease. Let me just install the update. There are a lot of options for animation ease functions, and like it changes stuff in the I don't fully understand it. I don't claim to fully understand it. It's just freaking cool. But there's a lot of stuff that you can do there. But I know that if I don't point out where all the options are, I'm gonna get a deluge of messages asking what all the options are. But I'm really excited for people to try this out. I am so excited for people to try this out. I mean, like, the Windows compositor obviously sucks. Yeah, like, the compositor is the worst compositor on the desktop today. It's not even close. It's really not even close. It's so jank. It's just not good. But even with the compositor being hot garbage, I love the animations. Oh, I love the animations. All right, so the animation ease functions, animation ease. Ooh. What the hell's going on here? What the hell is going on here? I updated these. I updated the args. I didn't update the... So silly. So silly. Alright, animation. Here as well. Animation duration. And animation ease. Even I forget things all the time. But it does not matter. Does not matter in the long run, as long as you get everything in the end, and as long as you try your best. This whole project is the result of me trying my best, even when I had no idea. So you may or may not know the story of how I started writing this. You may think that I've been a Windows developer for a long time. This is the first thing I ever developed for Windows. This is my very first Windows project. I did it in Rust because I know Rust and I don't know C# and I have, I don't have any particular desire to learn C#. I switched from Mac OS to Windows during 2020 when I built a PC. And it was really hard for me. I just couldn't work on Windows without having a tiling window manager. I was so used to using Yabai. And one day I just said, you know what? I'm just going to build my own. I'm going to figure it out as I go along, and I'm going to build my own. And here we are. Me and 5.4 thousand others, according to the stars. And according to the downloads, 42,000 others. So, yeah. Always try your best. Anyway, animation ease. So, if you want the auto completions for all of these when you're editing, when you're running against this branch, just make sure to get the new schema, static config schema, put it to a file, and just make sure that your editor is using that rather than the one that's on the master branch right now. Wow, I feel like I did a lot of talking in this episode and not a lot of coding. We gotta git commit amend, git push force. Sweet. That is now looking good. Whoa, it's so freaking noisy outside. There are like trucks and trucks and trucks going by, honking their horns, and like when they're idling, it's just like chugging away. And I have like the worst setup for recording, right? There's like no noise isolation. I've just got windows on this side and it's loud as hell. I don't know. I get really annoyed when it shows up on the audio recording and I'm just like there in Premiere Pro trying to twiddle the knobs of the noise gate, trying to get rid of it. Drives me absolutely crazy. Anyway, enough of that. Why don't we say thank you, as always, to the lovely sponsors of this project. Thank you very much to private sponsor number 1 and private sponsor number 2. Thank you to Timothy, EFL1P, the classic read-only member. Thank you to Solomon, Julian, Evan, who does not sucks. Evan rocks. Just putting it out there that Evan rocks. Maxwell, Darian, I think he may be a new sponsor. And a fellow Rustacean. Welcome, Darian, and thank you for your support. Leandro, thank you so much. Alex, Kwang, thank you so much. Bigsby, Surefire, Michael, and Pavel. Pavel, I think, also is a new sponsor. Welcome, Pavel, and thank you so much for your support. And of course, the OG, the original sponsor of Komorebi. Thank you so much, Hisayuki. Much appreciated. That is pretty much it. If you'd like to sponsor, make sure you head over to the sponsor page, which is right here. You can either be a one-time sponsor, leave a tip. You can be a monthly sponsor. Even if it's $1 a month, it makes a huge difference. I really appreciate it. And if you are not in a position to become a sponsor, the very next best thing that you can do is subscribe to the YouTube channel where you're probably watching this right now. So right now we're at 911 subscribers. Pretty cool number. And we're aiming for 1,000 so that we can join the YouTube partner program. You may have noticed pretty much every Komorebi video right now, whether it's a tutorial, whether it's a live programming video, whether it's the NixOS videos as well, they all have ads playing. Once we're part of the YouTube partner program, we'll be able to get some of that ad revenue. And so subscribing and helping us get past that threshold is a really great passive way for you to help to support the future of this project. Alright, my friends. Alright. I hope that whatever you all do today, you have a great day. Free Palestine. And I'll see you all back here next time.